Stand Up the Podcast.
Back to Canada to get you all your free drugs you want.
They give weed for free in Canada?
Hey guys, welcome to...
We have a better build-up than that.
Would you like to roll with the build-up a little further, Jay?
Nah, just be like, I don't know, fuck it.
Just like, do a better job, but I won't.
Welcome to the Smoky Sexy Vanguard Vlogs Stand Up the Podcast.
Stand Up the Podcast!
Yeah.
Episode
5!
7.
What's 5 in Spanish?
TheScrubbening.
The Scrubbing Bubbles team
Cinco.
representing.
Cinco de Mayo. How don't
Cinco
you
de
know that?
Scrubbening. So episode 5, TheScrubbening.
What's scrubbening in Spanish?
K-pop
Tequila.
soul.
Refried beans.
Now we've broken the record for racist comment. How y'all doing? We're going to talk about some stuff today. We're going to talk about ARG. That was last weekend at the recording of this podcast.
Yeah.
The term scrubbing bubbles came from the fact that we all kind of scrubbed out.
The three of us, at least.
Hey, I was doing well.
Yeah, so that's cool. ARG. The Trial X came out this week. Yesterday.
2 days ago, yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to spend a little bit of time on those. What's worth it? It really just comes down to what fanboyism you are. Neo-Nectars finally have your time, but I feel like we'll get to that, but we'll talk about the Trial X as well. And then, anything else you guys want to cover?
I want to talk a little bit more about ARG.
We're going to have like a half ARG segment. Exactly.
We'll get to that. I didn't prepare the soundboard, but we will get to that.
And big news for ARG is a lot of our local dudes and teammates actually topped forward, and our teammate Ben actually won it.
He won the whole event. Benjamin Towels.
Yeah, so we're going to have some interviews with those guys, just kind of telling like what they did, what they thought of it and stuff. Be pretty
I think those will go up
chill.
separately this week.
Yeah, we'll do those individually, but it is something we can get out there for you guys.
Yeah.
Deck profile.
Deck profile.
Deck Profiles talking about their experiences playing competitive because they're not, like Michael, more familiar with competitive than Ben and David are for sure.
Yeah, because Michael placed, he was 6th in Orlando and was 4th or 3rd.
Doesn't matter.
It's one of those two.
Yeah, we top 8 them both, so he's the boss.
Any map with the
Throw
champion
me on the
map.
phone, would you?
But it was our teammate Ben, David, and Michael who got 1st, 3rd, and 4th, respectively. It's
Which is
just
pretty high.
Yeah.
Sure. I have a picture of the top 8, like the cut before they actually
Represent.
So we'll put it up right now.
did it. Ding! Boom on the screen.
Look, it's on the screen.
You can see that. Look,
So-
motherfucker.
Before we get into the meat of ARG, I do want to talk about Dark Zodiac. It was brought to my attention at ARG that there had been communications and rulings that Dark Zodiac's effect, when he legions, you counterblast 1, and your opponent's cards do not unlock during their end phase.
That's how it's worded.
And there was talk
During
of...
their next unlock phase.
Right. So there was talk that that in order for that effect to happen, he had to see those cards lock. Ergo, you had to drop a Zodiac from hand because it's a copy of a card in your Vanguard circle, lock, and then Legion, and then you can Omega lock. So there was feedback, there was back and forth, and there was talk about emails from Bushiroad. I've contacted them myself because it's worded exactly like Omega Glendios, and Omega Glendios is cool. Japan's ruling is like it's Omega Glendios, and the English ruling has been back and forth.
Did they reach you back yet? Or?
I haven't heard back from them, but right now there's 2 plausible scenarios. That, 1, yes, the Omega Glendios does have to see the card lock before you can Omega lock, but you can Legion and Persona Blast the Legion mate, timing bullshit, and it still works. Or it's the way it's written and it works like Omega Glendios, and we'll have an answer on that. I'm really shocked they haven't gotten back to me yet, but I'll probably
They're
just...
freaking out. They're like, we slipped through the cracks. Oh man, how did we miss this out?
Well,
Oh,
Cho of the 5 people at Bushiroad is busy.
And he's like, oh, fuck.
Dude, they got Spring Fest. They all got to get ready.
5 of them, they gotta get their...
Ping's blowing up beach balls. We're fast F.
Can I just make it really quickly? I really wish this was a video podcast right now because we look like we're in fucking shambles. Like, Andrew's in a beanbag, Jay is leaning up against a cool door.
It's nice.
I bet it's really cold, actually.
It feels great. I'm fat.
And Justin's sitting on a throne of dicks.
Literal dildo chair.
Why is Shockwave so bad?
Would you like a Ballers Blend Monster? Sponsored by Monster.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is a Mountain Dew Kickstart kind of thing.
Wait till Jay tries the Ballers Blend.
Hold on. My bar trick.
Jay's bar trick, for those of you who don't know, is he can
Suck a dick.
Yo.
Woo!
He is balling on that one.
Woo.
Okay, anyway, so
Snort it.
let's talk.
He's doubling it.
Let's talk a little bit about the ARG event personally. So, Andrew, what deck did you play?
Capital Erasers.
Jay, what deck did you play?
I played Blaster Joker.
With Zodiac in tow?
Yeah,
So,
Zodiac.
that doesn't work.
And I also played Butler Razors.
Or what we call gazers. No offense to anyone who played it, but you cannot deny that exploiting Cat Butler is what made that deck
Oh,
so
no,
good.
no, it's a fag deck.
Also,
I
no
admit,
offense to
that's-
homosexuals, but
True, yeah.
Oh, that's
sorry.
implied.
But it's just
You
like,
like
yeah,
guys.
I'm like, this deck wins and it's stupid and it shouldn't work the way it does, but I'm playing it.
it's the Yu-Gi-Oh effect. Where like, if enough people play it, they're just like,
It's like it's either I'm going to play it or play against it. And if I'm playing against it, I want to be playing it against it.
Yeah, that's part of the reason I ran Blaster Joker, because there's a really good matchup against
It does.
gazers. But
And you got second to last?
yeah, no, I was fourth from last. I was 21st out of 26.
there were
So-
only 20. Oh, in the final standings.
Yeah, the final standings. Because a lot of people dropped for the side event.
Because there was like a 40.
Especially after round 2.
There was a. I'd say there's about 40 people there.
It's 38, exactly.
You missed. We're
Exactly
too
38.
short of getting the cash prize.
Ooh, what you say?
Which was because, if you people didn't know, Louisville was under a block of ice. Everything was frozen and death storms.
There were a lot of people who basically got in contact and were like, "Yeah, we're trying to drive down from Ohio," but then we were like, "Fuck that." Actually,
No, it's like we're trying to drive out Ohio, but there's a state of emergency in effect, and we can't get on the roads.
If there
It's
was. Did you know during a state of emergency, if the police and emergency services have to come help you, they fine you triple?
Yeah. If you get stuck, because like if you're driving on the road and you shouldn't be, and you get stuck in a ditch, you got to pay for it.
A lot.
So weather was a big factor. The turnout was still really good. We had some people come from like Chicago and stuff. I guess we'll just hit on like ARG as an event, and then we'll go into the competitive scene.
Also, thanks really quickly to Jonathan Minden, because they didn't really have a judge sorted out.
Oh yeah,
And he was like, I'm an organized human being. I can do this.
Really
Yeah.
great guy. I love that guy.
Butler's cool dude. He does judging for Bushy Road, so he was qualified there.
Yeah.
Also shout out to Jim from ARG.
Oh, yeah.
Who's a super great guy.
Yeah, talked to him in person. Wonderful guy. Loved him. He's like, I'm just here to help you guys.
He was really excited to see all these Vanguard. He was like, I didn't really know much about this game, and it seems like you guys are really passionate about it. And Bushiroad doesn't like to put up a bunch of walls like Konami, so pluses all around.
Yeah, he talked about doing shot kits for ARG to get points and stuff, which is really cool.
Which we just had today.
And
Yeah, we
I,
actually-
I love he even brought up, if you're one of those shops that wants to run it run it every week, just message me. I'll give you a discount. It's like, if you buy 8 boxes, I'll throw in 2 for free, stuff like that. It's like,
That's
he's
enough
really
points
trying
to
to
skip
help.
2 rounds for 4 players.
Hey, so I mean, I know we've kind of had like a weird stance on ARG because we've never dealt with them. It's just kind of an observance, and it was really more a status of like the professional or the pro Vanguard circuit itself. But as for ARG being the guys running it, I don't think we could have had better like shop.
Oh
and
no,
people
absolutely
pick it up.
not. Like
Wonderful
it
guy.
was run definitely at least on par with how the Bushi events have been run that we've been to.
Yeah, less
With the
broken
exception
English.
of no Asian people.
But dum. So it's good. That good merch. The mats we got are nice.
I'll put up pictures of both the ones I have.
I love that you pre-order, you get the play mat. That was pretty
The
nice.
playmats, if you haven't seen them, they're like customized to the city. So it's got art of Vermilion and Lacrosse.
Are we able to throw up a picture?
I'll put up a picture
Ding.
in front of Louisville, which is where we're from, and then the local shop mat is the one that you're seeing right now.
Ding.
It's super cool. I don't know what it is about ARG mats, but I feel like online they look 20 times worse than they do in person. Because I saw that Vermilion Lacrosse art and I was like, eh.
I think it's a textural thing, like it's not like a picture of the mat. You always see this is the art I drew.
Yeah, like the bit
but then
map.
you print it on a vinyl, and it's like, ooh, this is got some class, got a little touch to it. It looks nice.
That's what I was going
It's nice. So the mat was cool. It's cool you pre-order and get it. Vanguard prices were really, really good.
Very good.
Yu-Gi-Oh prices were a little high here, but I feel like that's just because I knew they could get that much.
Yeah, the Yu-Gi-Oh event was like 2 or 3 times the size of the Vanguard event.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'm assuming it was just a good of an experience. They've been doing Yu-Gi-Oh for a lot longer, but their Vanguard prices were super solid. I was short a Cat Butler because I couldn't find one, and it was $4. And I was like, you didn't even jack that up for bullshit.
Oh yeah, they had a lot like Diamond Ace. They only had there for 8. Where online he was going for 12 because of the D Police hype. Half Moons were only 20. When
Right, it was,
people are like doing 40 to 30 on that.
It was really good, and I loved their selection of, like, these are our ARG mats, and they had the one with all the pro Yu-Gi-Oh players on it.
But they didn't have the Florida one. That has Disney World.
It'll be
It's
okay.
the only one I ever wanted from them.
Oh.
They had every other one.
This is the Andrew Range section. Fucking Disney World. My parents. dogs!
I think you called me out because they had a Broverlord, the brake card, and you're like, why is that 18? I was like, it's SP. I'm like,
I was also
SP.
thrown that half their case was SP. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's... SP I wouldn't really consider a selling point. It's more like, I can do that if I'm about now.
Yeah, no,
It's
that's pretty
good price,
solid.
though.
They also gave
Good
good.
prices.
They were buying for a good amount too. I know a lot of
Yeah.
people sold Yu-Gi-Oh stuff and got good cash. So that's
Yeah.
good stuff. So great people at ARG. I'm gonna put up my one bitch, and we'll make this an in-shot joke, and I'll get shit on for all of it.
Beep, 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 beep.
So, like, it's best 2 out of 3, which breaks from the Konami code, and that's cool. And when you're playing Link Joker, it's a bit of a slower deck because you really have to focus your move on what your opponent's doing. The rounds, I feel like 45-minute rounds would have been better, or it was never a, like, everyone sit down, 3, 2, 1, go. It was like pairings are up, and the clock would start at some point, and we played, 6 rounds?
Yeah.
So I would say, 4 out of 6 rounds went to time, and I would lose because at time, it's whoever has the most damage at the end of that turn, or if it's a tie, the person who takes the next turn, whoever deals the next damage after that.
Yeah, and I think I understand why they do that system, but it would seem more reasonable to me if they did that system and were really strict on like start, finish. But since it was a little bit looser, I would have preferred they do like okay, it's your turn now, time's up, this turn, this turn, this turn, this turn. What do they call that?
Just end of match procedure or whatever. End of
Yeah,
time.
it's just like it's your turn right now, so you take a turn.
You
then
play
take
another
a
5
turn,
turns
then
between
you take
both
a
of
turn,
you.
take a turn, it's over. It's like even at a tie, you both lose. Like something more like that, because it wasn't run badly, but they were clearly a little bit understaffed,
Right.
and it was just like you have to do something. And I feel like you specifically got screwed over by that. And I feel like there were a couple of people who probably did too, not
Yeah.
as frequently as you.
I mean, there was always those people who were like, "Oh, I got 2 minutes left in. I'm gonna stall, and I'm at the least damage. I win." It's like, okay, let's not. Okay.
That's another problem that could have been solved by more judges, but again, not really their fault this time.
Yeah.
Weather was a very big issue.
And I know it sounds like we're being nitpicky, but that's just the one thing. I feel like the extra 5 minutes on the round would have been good. I felt like maybe I was playing a little bit slow because I was always one of the last games finishing up, but I was playing Link Joker, man. Just gotta be
Well, I
responsible.
mean, it's just like Jim, really nice guy, but he even said he doesn't really play these games, so he doesn't understand kind of Vanguard's a slower thing.
It can
So,
be,
well, it can be, but I mean, like Yu-Gi-Oh! 40 minutes is fine because it's like usually sometimes it's like okay, the game's over in 5 minutes, I won or something like
You
that.
sit there across from a deck, it's like, oh, okay, I lose to that.
Yeah.
Sack to sack.
GG.
It's just like, but then Vanguard, it's like it will go into game 3 quite often. It's just like sometimes it's just like you really need to focus, and everybody's healing, and you're just like the
Especially with Legion and
yeah.
healing.
It's just like it just really needs that little extra time, which I feel they could actually afford because it's like Yu-Gi-Oh's going to sit there for 9 rounds. I mean, Vanguard's going to sit there for 5 or 6. I mean, you can
Yeah, because
pay the extra 5.
yeah, we got out there pretty early. I thought I was expecting to be there for another hour at least. And
What, it started at 11 and we were out by like 3 or 4?
yeah, I think it's a pretty good amount of time for.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Did not realize time was going as fast as it was until it was over.
Because you have such a good time.
Yeah.
Well, it's also because we were in a basement with no windows.
Or
That's
self-service.
Yeah, that's the fuck you basement.
Should have brought my blinding watch.
But the mats were nice. Top 8 got nighttime versions of the mats that other people got
And
for
champion mat
pre-registering.
with like stars on it. I think I forget. I'll put a
It's
picture.
it's a little slightly different. It says champion. Yeah.
There's this champion on it.
Yeah, they're really
So,
cool.
really happy with the prize support. The ARG points are cool. The shop credit. I really like the event. I like to see them do more stuff, and we'll probably road trip to a couple of them.
Yeah. Now, while we're on the subject of that, there is a problem. We talked about this a little earlier with the next event. Let me grab the date for that on my phone. Everybody else, vamp.
Bitch, why do we have problems? What the fuck?
I don't. This is you're going rogue.
The clay mixing at the next ARG.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was gonna be like we have a problem. We're not going to any more events because I have to fly off to Ireland, and I'm like, well,
There's the door. Fuck off.
That's
you're
cool.
right. That's a door, Justin. That's a window. You want to point out more shit in your
I'll
house?
beat the shit out of you.
There's a dead body, Andrew. It's your reflection.
It's the reflection of your soon-to-be dead.
So, this is something I was actually brought up to me tonight at dinner. So, after this event, it was stated that ARG was going to go pure clan fight rules because there's a lot of fan demand. Because we've said this before, we feel like the game was designed to be played by clan fight rules. It's not that, call cheesy, call lame, call strategy, whatever.
There was a reason, for so long the cards had Lord in it. The Lord text, where it's like you can only control this. It was like it's meant to be played like that. And then after 16 sets, they're like, okay, they clearly should understand it's clan only. So while we have to make room for it to say Legion and explain all that, we can't afford to put Lord on everything. Everybody just took that as, they want us to mix clans now, and it's like.
Yeah, because let me just say this. Frozen Ogle was never conceptualized to fish your Cat Butler or to get Commander Laurel, whatever hateful shit. It was meant for Break Ride, Crush Rush, which is what Spikes needs to win. That's their winning image. They don't have anything else. It's aggressive calls from the deck and 8 attacks in one turn, all being over 20,000.
So...
I was going to say, it's just got, especially now since we got Stride now, we have an extra deck. It's like, I've seen a lot where it's like, Ragnarok Dragon, okay, you can't guard with zeros, attack, put all the attacks on my Silent Tom, you still can't guard with zeros, and you lose. And it's like,
Razor's Butler is stupid. Frozen Ogle Razor's Butler is now going beyond that line of, this is broken but you can fight it, this is broken and it's a problem to the balance of the game. Because Vanguard's so sacky and lucky with triggers, it doesn't always mean that you're going to win or lose because you're running something broken, but it's just not fun. It ruins an element of the game. Where, I don't want to see Frozen Ogle fucking attack Cat Butler, swing for game. That's really bad. You should fish for it the normal way, the draw engine, the resting. It might just be I'm just facilitating this faster. But you're going around the conventions of how the game is clearly designed. And it's not cool. Don't do it. And unfortunately, if ARG doesn't drop the clan mixing, I won't go to another one.
Here's my thing, and I'm thinking of this from their side. I think having the split tournament is to gauge. Put your money where your mouth is, right? So if you clearly have 10 people show up for the mixed clan bracket and 40 people show up for the clan fight.
No. In this particular instance, that's totally.
I feel like they're putting their feelers out there because they have the data, they have the vocal people on both sides. I think this is just
Fort Lauderdale was a pretty big turnout last time. We got 80 people.
Right.
So it's like if they see 71 and 10 in the other, it's like, good for you. We're not doing that.
Right. I feel like this is their way of letting kind of us decide where it goes forward. Because I'm a big fan of clan fight. I like it. I don't like clan mixing at all. Again, Frozen Ogle was meant for Spike Brothers who don't have a lot.
And it's even crazier with Stride throwing the mix now. It's just...
Yeah, don't want us to be striding that Royal Paladin dude out of the starter deck or shit like that.
Dude, just think about it. Stride the Royal Paladin dude. It hits. Get Frozen Ogle. Get something else. It's just the deck's designed to get multiple attacks, but it has its way of doing it.
It's just a bad mentality for the game either. It's not thinking, how can I make this clan better? It's thinking, what kind of random shit can I throw into a pile and have it work?
And it's the problem of, people want to be institute a ban list. It's no. Never institute a ban list. You can ban a few specific cards. Okay, we designed this, but everybody's using it, and it's kind of causing an imbalance. Limit this to 2. But when you start imposing a ban list no one can use Silent Tom ever because these motherfuckers used it in this. That's not okay. That's not cool.
Because that was one of OTT's go-to boys. It's Silent Tom, you're going to help me out now. It's they don't get to use it anymore because of this. It's
Right, and I feel like clan fight keeps us from a ban list because it's not that you're not being creative. You can still net deck within a clan.
Yeah, it's just the game is naturally already built to be balanced because they don't have to... They're okay... How can we make Nova Grapplers stay balanced without, Then when you start getting other clans, it's we can throw this card and make that broken. It's yes, but that works for that clan, not supposed to be in this clan.
Because Yashitori Samaguchi, or whatever their names are, he sits there and he looks at the Royal Paladin trial and he goes, okay, here's the Stride, here's Altamile. You get this combo, you get a bunch of attacks off. But he doesn't say, but if you Stride, hit him this, Frozen Ogles, do this, do that. He's not looking at it that way. It's so obvious in the way the game is designed. I don't see why people even think it could be okay.
Well, it's always that thing. It's Bushiroad's never instituted clan fight here. I'm bro, where have you lived? Every fucking tournament they've ever done in their lives has said, you cannot do this. Ever.
I don't have screenshots to prove it. but I'll make them.
I mean, it was like the team league. It's like you must follow this rule, this rule, this rule, and this rule, and this rule. It's like yes, and it's like I'm sorry, Bushiroad only has like 2 tournaments a year, so it's not like Konami where like every week you're being influenced by yes, this is the ban list, this is how you run it, but. They're supposed to be played that way. I mean, just...
Yu-Gi-Oh's a different game. It's been around for a long time.
But I mean, what's the point of, like, let me build my clan fight, my clan mix deck for ARG, but, Bushiroad, let me fix it to where it's supposed to be this, because they're wrong. It's like...
Perfect example of, like, there were people playing, like, Frozen Oval and Razors, including David Lee. But there was also that one really rogue player who was playing Thingsaver Doge with Genesis support to feed the soul.
Yeah.
I looked over at him from across the table. I was very cordial, and I was like, that's fucking stupid. What's wrong with you?
And then you punched him.
And he goes, I just want to get it in there before they start instituting clan fight rules. And I go, I guess. But what's wrong with you? That's so... Who thinks of that?
Well, I feel like, I guess, and we'll kind of wrap this topic up here, it's the person who plays, say, a video game to enjoy the story versus a speedrunner. It's getting enjoyment out of something in a different way by breaking and exploiting it. And that's what I feel like Mixed Clans does.
The difference, in my mind, is person who enjoys a video game like story versus speedrunning, it's more of a personal experience.
Right, you're not
Whereas
playing
a person in multiplayer who's like, I'll play it normally, grind my way up, unlock this, unlock that, versus a Twitch shoot hacker.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a little
No
bit
scope.
different. No scope, 420, lays it, 360, no scope.
Super Saiyan 4.
So
moving on to the meta.
Trainees.
Cut that out.
You beautiful bastard. Leave that in. That's gold. That's that man doing his job. But,
Tricky tranny dicks. You know who you are.
talking about going into the meta, because we prepared for it, so I knew going into it, expect to see a lot of razors. There's the build going around Street Bouncer, Screaming Announcer Shout, the Grade 3 Searcher. I knew if I sat down from somebody and we stood up, the Grade 3 Searcher. Razors again.
You're probably not playing Blouse.
Yeah, you're not playing the Blouse there. So there was an expected amount of razors there. There was only a couple Link Joker. I think it was just me and 2 or 3 other people actually.
I only
Link
saw
Jokers.
2 others.
Only 3 Link Jokers, so that was small. I can only remember 2 Perditions, including Ben, and then Aaron, who was a judge for Bushiroad a lot, the cool dude we met in Nashville.
Oh, no, there were like 4 or 5 Perditions.
Okay,
I
4 or
sat
5
across
Perditions.
from one, and I saw another one, and that's a solid deck. I can't tell if it's a mindset thing, or like if it's a very specific, like, way people tweak the deck individually, because, like, I was looking at Ben's deck, and he's the guy who won, who's from our shop. He ran a grade 2 that I had just never seen before, and I was just like, I can kind of understand if I calculate and point my finger. That kind of makes sense.
I guess, but the grade 2 line for Perdition is always pretty much the same. It's 4 of each of the mates, and then you have 3 of the fucking laser guy that's just like counterblast retire.
Yeah, but Ben won. That's not what his was.
Yeah, whatever. But I mean, it's just, I think what he even said is what made it so good was he could retire anything on demand. So he would always retire the Cat Butlers, which really decreased the pressure. Because that's what you need most of the time, is you need the Cat Butler, or else you can just sit there and guard for days then at that point. And that's just what really...
But he beat other decks leading up to that.
Yeah.
Quite a few other... I mean, the finals he played Razors, but like...
I'm not saying like one of the hardest matchups is Cat Butler, because Cat Butler's retarded, and that's just something that really helped it. So if enough player, but I'm saying overall it's Kagro. It does its thing.
Yeah. There was a couple of Regalia, including Michael.
Mm-hmm.
And then
forever.
there was was anybody other than Zach playing Shadow Paladin?
Yeah, somebody
I sat
played
across
the
from
guy
him.
who played round 1 played Shadow Paladin.
Okay, so there's a couple of Shadow Paladins. So a good mix from the first ARG where it was Shadow Paladins versus Genesis.
Dude, you forgot
Every match.
the most important one.
Spike Brothers.
There was a couple Spike Brothers.
There was a couple Spike Brothers.
There was a
Nice to say.
couple really excited Deep Police players.
Oh yeah, the Deep Police.
Those
type
hardcore
was rough.
Tsukiyomi players.
Oh, even that brings a righteous laughter for me, because those guys were the hardcore Tsukiyomi players. And we know one of them.
Oh, I played the one scrub that played, what is that, Imperial Daughter? OTT?
That's a card.
Yeah, it's just like, if you have no rear guards, it loses restraint. It gets 10,000 in a crit. And it was just like,
strange.
oh wow. Perfect Guard the game. I remember you so well from 2 formats ago. Perfect Guard. Pass.
Our
Perfect Guard.
format's years, so 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. But it was nice to see a good mix of decks.
It was good.
Aside from Razors, which I was excited initially to see, like, oh, Razors, I know how to defeat this. You just guard everything, and then when they swing with Cavalers, you let the double crit hit. And as long as you're not 2 damage, you don't have to worry about getting crit to death.
But you do. A lot.
But it happens.
It does happen.
It happened to me.
Sad face. Mm-hmm. So you both ran Razors. How did you guys feel about playing the Razors against other matchups? What gave you guys trouble? What were you worried about?
Nothing gives you trouble. The deck's just not very consistent.
Yeah. It's just like if I get Caterpillar, I'm doing pretty good.
You either get it or you don't. Like that's why it's such an unbalanced choice, because it's just like you get Cat Butler, great. You don't get Cat Butler, you're kind of just running on very low steam. Like this is double crit every time.
But then it's like I can use my perfect guards now because you don't have Cat Butler.
Because there's no catch to it.
Yeah, but I mean I don't know. It's still but once you get it, it's just stupid good because I think only one time I was actually grade locked for like 3 turns. Then rode the grade 3, had Cat Butlers, and just come back and win because he was already at 4. And it's like, oh, Legion swing game.
I'd say of any of those decks, it's both the easiest to sack with and the easiest one to get sacked against because you can get rushed super easy.
The hard time I had against the Razor deck was when he was actually grade lock at 2, and I couldn't Legion. Like Blink Joker, Blaster Joker, Zodiac needs to Legion. Like I can't just sit at grade 2. Like I need to get my stuff set up.
You're at Zodiac. He goes. You go back. You ride Blaster Joker. You try to Legion. I was like, Jay, you just checked out, didn't you? You just don't want to look at this guy.
To be fair, most of my I'll just touch on this now. Most of my games went to round 3, and during my opponent's attack with their Vanguard, the time would go up, and we would either be tied, or in some cases, time would go up. We'd both be at the same damage. There was one game I was really far ahead. Game was looking pretty good for me. I had full board. He was locked to everything. He swings for no pass, gets a heal trigger. Since he had less damage than me then at the end of the turn, I lost the game.
Which is one of the reasons why that isn't always the best way to...
And it makes me salty and sad inside, and I get made fun of for it, but I accept it.
But how's the Ballers blend?
It's pretty bad. I'm going to be sick.
What's wrong with you?
I think mixing Shockwave and Ballers blend.
I would not recommend it.
No.
Kids...
Especially for someone who drinks diet soda because he can't drink real soda because he's diabetic.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
It's a little too sweet. I'm like Ralph.
I thought you were talking about... I can't drink real soda. I have to drink diet because I can't take the sugar.
Well, that's the thing. Once you get used to it for so long. Like,
well,
really
when I was... Like, my dad, I've drank diet my whole life, so now if I try to drink regular, my body just can't handle it.
It tastes like syrup. Like blatant syrup.
It's
But anyway.
like, oh, God.
I just shoot up heroin all day.
Right between the toenails.
Between the toenails.
Between
Delicious.
The toenails. Don't you do drugs? Guys, come on. Shoot us an email. Do you do
Between the toenails? What the fuck are you talking about?
Guys, email him. It's a real thing.
Stop
Vanguard
it.
blogs at
It's
something
between the
outlook.
toes. But anyway.
Toenails.
Gmail. You're frack. Anyway. So the competitive scene was cool. The D Police players were fun. It's exciting. I feel like Generation Striding will be cool to see what happens there. So, I'm excited to see where it goes.
The trial decks.
Oh, yeah.
Before we wrap up, anything else between ARG? No. I liked that we did top 8 photos. There was like good. I liked it.
It was a fun event.
Sweet event, good people.
It was fun. Hey, it wouldn't. I don't think it would have been as fun if we had driven a super far time and had those results personally.
True,
but it was still a good time.
We got sacked.
I mean, it was good. There was ran very well. I really enjoyed that even if you didn't top 8, like 8 through 16 got the points,
yes.
pity points. But Die Kaiser was on the thing, so
which
I'm
are
like,
useful. You get the points. The way the points work is if you have
get
20, if you shut up about sleep. If you have 20, you can enter the nationals without an invite. If you have 50, you can skip round 1, and if you have 100, you can skip the first 2 rounds.
Which I was very psyched for when he said that, because I was on crack the entire time, apparently. I thought you had to get your invite and the points. And I'm like, what's the point of all these events then if I get points?
Shit.
It's like, I get the points, but I don't have the invite. It's
Star
like,
chips.
You have to get all your star chips, and you have to have both the prize cards. Oh, you only have 1? That's okay, Joey.
Aww.
That's okay.
The Keith Bandit steal one of your prize cards.
Aww.
He died in the actual manga.
No, actually, it's because Joey Wheeler took Star Chips from Yugi and never officially entered
What kind of
it.
surgery is $2 million, though? Come on.
She got robot eyes.
Literally.
So anyway, ARG, Vanguard Vlogs likes ARG. If it's been murky in the past, it's just because we were reading it purely from a meta standpoint. Good people, good events, help them, give them some love.
Yeah, which from the outside looking in, it's really easy to see why like you could be down on it, but actually playing at an event, super good time.
It's one of those things. We just see their internet personas. We don't see them, and then once meeting them, it's like, you guys are actually super cool. Can we make out?
Not coleslaw, but everybody else.
The coleslaw. That's some dumb.
That's not enough, apparently, Duncan.
And on to the trial decks. Yeah!
I like the Norakami one.
And there we go, the first troll of the segment. Anyways.
Ding! So let's go ahead and, like we did last time, before we break each deck apart to the little new guinea goodness, let's go ahead and just rank them. Best trial deck to buy, purely as a trial deck, go.
Royal Paladin.
Royal Paladin.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
Fucking equivocally.
So, Royal Paladin, second place. Neo Nectar?
Neo Nectar.
Andrew?
I want to say Neo Nectar, but the problem is I really feel you need some of the cards from the 2 set, because it's like you have to have... It's the trial deck, some of them you get 3, some you get 4, some you get 2, and the deck relies on having multiple names. So it's like once you damage check one of the grade 1s, the other one's just useless to you because you can't get.
But here's the problem. I would agree with you, except that the third choice is the Gear Chronicle trial deck, which is toilet.
But Gear Chronicles by Spirit Ammo.
I think they're awesome.
I like their put to the bottom of the deck mechanic. Like, I can see how that's really cool, but like I played it tonight and I just was kind of underwhelmed.
It's just because of the trial deck, because... Let's go in order, top to bottom.
Yeah, sorry.
The 3 trial decks are called, in the order in which we rank them, the Divine Swordsman of the Shiny Star,
Shiny.
Flower Maidens of Purity, and the Awakening of the Interdimensional Dragon.
Clax.
Which is cool. In the Royal Paladin trial deck, the Stride is when you stride, when his attack hits, you get to call a grade 2 from deck. The effect of Altamile, which is the main... By the way, we need a word for this.
Strider.
Strider. Is that what we're going to call them?
Yeah.
That's a good term.
The cards
Or
that get...
break stride.
The cards that get effects when you stride over them. Striders.
Break stride. That's what
There's
I'm looking
Strider,
for.
who's called...
Hashtag break stride.
Hashtag Strider.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Are you team white and gold?
Altamine, they actually took the O out of his name. It's Outmine.
They did. It's weird. Outmile.
Yeah, Outmile, whatever. I'm just like, really? The O's not... What?
It's relevant.
Was the O offending some people?
It knows what it did.
It offended me. So, his effect is when you stride over him, you can counterblast 1, call 2 cards from your hand, and then give 2 cards 5k, which can include your stride card. Which
What?
You can dish out. So, he doesn't need a booster, and it's just like, it facilitates a lot of multiple attacks, it facilitates a lot of big columns, and the biggest difference between, like, what puts it over the Neo Nectar for me is that Neo Nectar facilitates big columns, but more conditionally. Because you need the multiple copies.
You need the multiple names.
Or you need the promo that's like the 9k booster, which is not in the trial deck. Or you need the... those are the only 2 things. You need those. Otherwise, you just kind of are left with like, these medium quality, not perfect columns.
The Royal Paladin deck is just insane. It's like the stride hits, you call level 2 from deck. The grade 2 that they have, it's like when it attacks the Vanguard and it's boosted, you can just counterblast, call it from deck, call a grade 2 from deck.
Yeah, they have.
Like I would just always have a free column open, just because I always knew one of these 3 effects will go off, and I will have a monster there.
Because Knight of Twin Sword is effects when he's boosted, you call 1 from deck, and you can just facilitate like 4 plus attacks.
And the attack doesn't even have to hit. I was just like,
his
It's
attack.
like
You're
Spike
like,
Brothers almost.
It's very Spike Brothers-esque. And
Nice.
I think they realized that that's like the simplest way to facilitate multiple attacks, and they were just like,
Calm there.
get it going.
And that was it. Go ahead.
But they conditioned it more strictly because with like Ogle, you can just bring out whatever.
Right.
But with this, like you bring in another grade 2, so he just has to be another front row guy.
he has to be boosted, and he can't call himself.
And sometimes I will even at the end of my rope, I'll just call the 10k Interceptor. The next turn, it's like 10k more shields. Or a bad 8 attack at like a grade 1.
The best defense is good offense.
It's true.
So if we throw Frozen Ogle in the deck, then we can
Kill
out
ourselves.
everything.
They also, in my opinion, have I don't know. It and the Neo Nectar starter are both really good because they the starter he lets you counterblast 1 and search for a grade 2 calling grade. Everything calls grade 2s, but it's just another kind of like free plus because you put it in the slot, you call a grade 2, you stride over it, you call 2 grade 1s, and then you don't need to have the 5k from the starter because you give the 5k to your stride, and it's like an extra boost.
Ooh.
It's a nice. It's got a lot more leeway.
So it would be safe to say, though, that the reason why they made the Royal Paladin starter so good is because they kind of get shit on next set.
They don't get shit on. They just
don't get anything. They get like 3 cards, right?
They get like 3 cards, and then even set 2, they get like 4. They get even less cards.
In set 1, they get a stride who's called like Holy Blow Saint Dragon, who's really awesome. And
She's the Blue Eyes White Dragon because Shion's last name's Kaiba.
Then they get a grade 2 and a grade 1, and I think they also get. Do they get the perfect card that unflips as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
They get like 7 cards in the next set, 7 to 10 cards, and then then the set after they get 5.
Yeah, it's not a lot of stuff, and I'm not really sure why. I think it's because the new stuff, it doesn't really. I think what's happening is new clan does not have archetypes.
Right.
The new Royal Paladin stuff has implied archetypes, which should be called like the Blue Sky Knights, but they don't really have any archetypes or requirements. And the Maidens, a lot of them have Maiden in their name, but they have no Maiden requirements.
Yeah. Well, it's like the Blue Flame Liberators. They had Blue Flame in their name, but Blue Flame didn't do anything.
Yeah, it did.
There were a couple times.
The grade 3s. You have to drop the Blue Flame grade 3s.
Well, that doesn't count.
Yes, it does. It's the main mechanic of that deck.
I'll have to side with him on this one. You're wrong.
Anyways.
That's a joke.
Let's go, Joker! You with your Joker-thon!
Get them divorced.
He wants divorced people.
That was the best line ever.
They get divorced.
Like, it's moving towards... There's 2 schools of thought on this one. It's either they're pushing the game to be A, more so that you can run any deck with anything, which is kind of what it seems like right now. Mm-hmm. Because there's no archetype requirement with the new stuff, you can kind of you have a little bit more free range.
A little more budget, even.
A little more budget,
it's
too.
like, I don't need to get the new X, type Perfect Guard. I can use my old Perfect Guard, and
then I can run Outmile Soul Saver, which sounds high. And then it's also... Or it could be moving towards a different kind of singularity, which is more like, okay, suddenly these archetypes do matter. Which hopefully forces down the road. It's not like that. I'd like it to be more like everything can work with everything. But the kind of catch to that is maybe Royal Paladins don't get a ton of support because they don't need a ton of support because they've gotten the most
Such
support
a deep card pool.
ever.
Yeah.
And now that there's no archetype requirements, you could just do whatever you want. Like, you could just do Things Saver Outmile. I don't recommend it. It's bad.
Well, so I know we talked about this. It's like Royal Paladins have support, but they only have support within their like, sub-clan or whatever, subtype.
Well, more recently, but before that,
Yeah.
like Soul Saver and that kind of era doesn't
But
really
remember we
have
tried
that.
to build that Alfred deck, and it was like, there's nothing we can put in this.
Yeah, there's nothing
Not
for the
even a
Alfred
good
deck.
starter, because we don't have anything.
But to be fair, the Alfred Legion's also not very good.
It doesn't have to be good, it's just like, give me a way to build this deck.
It's just because there's almost too much, because it's like the best 2 Royal Paladin decks, the best 3 Royal Paladin decks ever were MLB, which you can't mix with stuff, Soul Saver, which is too old, and Planetal, which is a chain ride.
Oh, well, Jewel Knights.
But that's its own thing. You can't really mix the Jewel Knights with the Alfred Legion.
I'll do it.
Fuck it.
Right, you're not.
Hey, you can mix it with the fucking Scene Saver, because the Jewel Knight, they use the grade 2 promo Jewel Knight that calls one from deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can mix them.
If you really want to.
We're getting that in the next box topper. Build it.
Ding.
Please,
So,
please
the
don't.
end of Royal Paladins. Best starter deck, because it doesn't get so much support in the next sets. Sugar spike high, and it plateaus off, where the other one starts kind of a lackluster entry with the potential to be built upon later.
I think the other thing about it is just like, of the 3 strides, that one's just the best out of the box.
Yeah.
So moving on to the Nectar trial.
The nectar, flowers and shit!
5 mana purity, most quiet trial, like 100% orange.
And
For
depending
sure
on when
for
you bought your ticket to the bandwagon, you're excited for this deck.
It's a cool deck.
It's a cool deck. It's like, it can go real hard, but it's like how I said, it's like it has to be that right condition where everything's still in the deck. Because like the stride card, when it hits, you select a unit on your field, call a copy of it from deck, and it gains 2,000. The Strider, when it's written over, you
Break stride.
Okay.
Strider,
Break stride.
Strider. Counterblast 1, select a unit, call a copy from deck, and it gains 2,000.
So everything in the Maidens is all about copying, which is the extra kind of gambit. And there's already some people that are locals who have mixed like the Musketeer Legions with the trial deck stuff, which I think only half works because the Musketeer stuff is pretty conditional on being Musketeer.
Yeah.
And I think the trial deck is perfectly good on its own. Their Stride is solid. I think the only card that pushes it over the edge is the promo Musketeer that when your deck is shuffled, it becomes a 9k booster. And the reason that works so well is because the starter gets a copy. There's a grade 2 that can find a copy. The Strider finds a copy. But when you're at G2, their Strider is suddenly the best Strider, in my opinion. Because her G2 is every card that you have another copy of gains 5k.
Break Stride.
So suddenly,
Strider.
if you have 3 of those in the back, they're all 14 boosters. And that's just a little bit more of like a big rose. But it's really conditional.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, one of the issues, I played the trial deck in the trial deck tournament that we had, and it was like, I would have the starter in 2 full columns, and I'm just like, well, I could use the starter to call another copy when one of these dies, but I don't even think I have another copy in deck.
Yeah, with just one copy.
And it's like, since now we're going out of Legion, it's just like, wait, I have no way to put these back in my deck. How am I supposed to...
Well, you could run the Legions, because the Musketeer one of them is fine on its own.
I was saying that's why it was like I kind of like need the because a lot of the GB2 stuff is like put shit back in deck, gain effect. Mm-hmm. Like there's Stride coming out, it's like put 5 back in deck, select 2 cards, call up to 2 copies of each, and just build like 2 full columns. It's like yes,
Musketeer stuff. I think it's just like if you're interested in it, you should pick up the trial deck regardless, even if you don't plan on playing it right now, just because. Trial deck stuff will be imperative to you
later on
by G2, regardless.
Unless you're one of those little fuckboys that just buys it and goes into your little hole and being like, oh, I love Neo Nectar.
and then disappear. You know who you are.
Jamil.
Like, I've been waiting since...
Whoa. Don't you dare.
He's
Jamil's
not.
better than
He's
that.
not. Actually.
Fuck you,
I
Tony.
mean, those people there, like, from BT... Whoa.
Shots fired. Shots
Like
fired.
those BT7, it's like, I'm going to build Neo Nectar, they're getting these Musketeers aboard, and then it finally comes out, and it's like,
He means
oh yeah, I've been
BT8.
waiting for this, but I haven't
Yes.
played Vanguard since. Oh, what's this new Stride thing and all that? Oh,
Get fucked.
can I mix it with my Musketeers that I've been hyped about? No? Okay.
I mean, and like, Legion's not really coming to an end, but it's no longer just Legioning.
Actually, I think it's one of those things. We were talking about this when the Legion trial decks come out. It's just moving towards a singularity where you can use everything.
Yeah.
Because they're giving Gear Chronicle the cool Legion, which is actually pretty solid, especially since right now there's no other grade 3 to run with it. And I'd say the biggest problem the Stride format has so far is like there's no... Everybody's used to like 8 grade 3s. But... there's not a second good grade 3 to complement your first one. It's more
Because
like
you're just dropping them.
it's more like right now, this is the one you're going to drop. But when you get to a point where you can mix and match legions, like I hope everything gets a new legion, at least one, just for that, because the old legions mostly are built for archetypes.
Right.
Whereas I hope we get like a cool new legion, because like I don't know what the Jewel Knight Legion does, but I'm pretty sure it's very Jewel Knight centric. So I don't think you could just throw it into the Royal Paladin structure deck.
I don't know what the grade 3 does, I just know what
I'll look it up in a second. But I think that would be cool because it's not just Chronojet drop the other grade 3 stride over it every turn. You can only do that to a point.
Right.
And it's like, oh, I'm out of resources, and I'm way behind. And
But
I'm
then
fucked.
Chronojet is just so amazing because he's like, oh, I've stridden like 3 times? Maelstrom.
Yeah, because that was the thing. It's like, it always seems like all 3 of those decks, it's like, here's the main grade 3 and here's your discard outlet. Because it's like, here are all the bad ones. Because it's like, I'll give a shout out to the butler, Jonathan Mendham, on this. He ran Neo Nectar and he put in that old maiden from like BT6 or something like that. The one that she can Persona Blast when she hits and call 2 copies. Because it was one of those before Limit Break, and it was just like, wow, that actually works really well as a second grade 3. Because it's not Limit Break.
I think that's the thing with like Royal Paladin. There's no like really obvious like this will work really well. But with Neo Nectar, they have a few choices for that. And with Gear Chronicle, because it's new, obviously there isn't one right now.
Royal Paladin's like, all the good shit is Limit Break, and all the stuff that's not as bad, like Alfred.
Let's see what this Jewel Knight Legion does. Because if you can splash it in here, I would happily do it. Have you seen the Jewel Knight Legion?
No.
It's
It's
a
like-
dude! It broke the combo! It broke
It's a
the
dude,
combo!
and the mate is a tiger. A gray tiger.
Tyrannosaurus, don't go Power Rangers!
You forgot all the rest of the animals. Is that your lonely ass sad in the backyard? No one came over to play. Tyrannosaurus! I don't need a Megathon.
That's the end of the thing. It goes saber-toothed tiger, Tyrannosaurus.
Okay,
so
anyways.
it's a tiger now.
It's Mastodon.
The Legion's not very
Saber-toothed tiger.
The Legion's not very good.
Triceratops.
We can move on.
Pterodactyl. Tyrannosaurus. And fuck you. Dragon.
Saber-toothed tiger is before Tyrannosaurus. I know
No.
that.
Tyrannosaurus is the last one.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
You guys
Look at this up.
are saying the same thing. Saber tiger, Tyrannosaurus.
No, he's saying it comes earlier. I'm saying,
I'm saying
it goes,
Tyrannosaurus is the end.
Yeah.
It's Mastodon, saber-toothed
saber-toothed tiger
tiger,
is the second one.
Triceratops. Or maybe it's whatever. You're wrong.
No.
Get
We'll look
fucked.
it up.
Gear Chronicles.
No, I was just gonna say the Jewel Knight Legion's not very good.
Jonah!
No, but so under the Gear Chronicle deck, this is the deck that a lot of people are excited for because it's a new clan.
And they're cool.
Like
There's
Joe
tastes of really cool shit in here. Like I like the grade 1 that gets to 5k when it's attacked.
Well, they all have that.
They all have that.
Whatever. That's a cool card. I like that. Their effect of
General mechanically.
putting
cool.
shit to the bottom of the deck is cool.
It's
Chronojet, I feel like it's still going to be a really good grade 3 moving forward
No,
in the Generation
he's
Break
actually a super
format.
sick card.
Because he's like, spam the fuck out of Generation, like, out of Striding, waste the resources, and then he'll push the broom.
And it's a cool idea, and I really appreciate it. I actually think it would work really well with a break ride. If they get one later, like way down the road, I think that'd be super
I feel
hype.
they should because it's like every clan has a break ride. Why not?
It'd just be awkward.
Even if it's an old mechanic, it's like they've shown that they're going back and like giving Eradicator support and all this, so why not go back?
With Creator Vanguard hits Eradicators or something.
My biggest beef with the
Power Rangers.
yes, the Power Rangers. No, the
Chronicle?
Clock Dragons
The Cardfight
is how deceptively good their starter is. Because so Generation Break is face up in your G zone, or is it face up in your G zone and on your Vanguard, or is it both?
Circle.
And your Vanguard, yeah.
Okay, so if you stride, you could use the starter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, like in the mirror matches I was playing with, it would just be like, oh, they did the Chronojet first, bottom of my deck, searcher.
R.I.P.
Because he lets you like set you up for stride, but like he's a really big target
He
before you
lets
can effectively use
search
it.
for a grade 3 added to your hand, but not top 5, just anywhere.
Right.
Which in a format where like looking for a specific grade 3 is one thing, or break riding would be one thing, but just as a resource for stride, it's just a really good like resource manager.
That reminds me, I forget we're actually getting those cards that are the grade 1s that's like, hey, you can discard a grade 3 and search the good one.
What?
The grade 1s are like you can discard this card from your hand and it counts as a 3 for stride.
Yeah.
Their effects are the Roll Paladin one is you can discard any grade 3 and search your deck for Ultimile.
That's pretty cool.
And then the Neo Nectar has one search for that bitch, and then the other one is search Chronojet.
That's pretty
It's
cool.
literally like, yes, we know the other grade 3s are bad, get the one you want.
I actually kind of don't like that.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool idea for strategy, which is like that's going to waste the space, and you're going to get it too late. Every
But
time.
it's a 7k booster, and and then if you have it in your hand, you can discard it and it counts as a
Hey,
grade
7K get with the times. They have the coolest vanillas ever.
No, I really don't like the art on Gear
Basic
Chronicle.
Gear Dragon.
I'm a fucking hater.
I don't know, I just hate the steam.
You're an
ones.
H-hater?
I love the dragons that are like kind of like gearied out, but then when I see like the steampunk like marching band top hat guys,
That's a
I'm
good way
just
to put it, marching man.
I love that fucking guy.
like, I'm just like, yeah, no.
That draw trigger though, so shiny.
Oh god, I love
Lucky
the
Pot
hollowing.
Dragon. Oh, the hollowing in this stuff is fucking beautiful.
That was weird. It's different than the Japanese. I realized. Because the Japanese, I was looking at the Japanese trial deck that I bought, and there was just hollows just straight down, where this one is like spirals. But it's like,
This means get the
sexy.
stride backs.
And
we did get the stride backs!
fucking Neon Messiah was the harbinger of doom.
We didn't realize. We thought it was a
We
joke.
weren't a glitch.
I told everybody to
Fuck
pick them up.
yeah.
Like, bros, here's 4. Please hold on to them. I'm trying to like give all the bros 4, and they're just like, they would leave them on the table, and I'm like,
You need.
You never gave me 4, but to be fair, I don't think we ever broached the topic.
I thought everybody got 4 because we got
No.
a case.
I have a lot of them here.
Regardless.
I guess you were never around at the time, but like Ben and Loli King, I was just like, here's 4, and I would go back, come back, and they had left it on the table.
You're like,
I'm
we're not going to use
With a
these.
pile of poop written this is fuck you, Andrew.
I'm like, I guess I'm the one that looks ahead.
But we haven't even said, why is Gear Chronicle the worst child deck? Chrono is really good. Starter's really good. What's the missing link here?
Their stride is bad.
Their stride is called
But you win.
Interdimensional Dragon Mystery Flare Dragon. The mystery is, why is he so bad? And the answer to your mystery is because his effect is the most...
Win more! Win more!
It's the most, you're never going to get this off, and it costs too much, so you're not going to set up for it. And
So here's the
it's
thing:
bad.
you can search the top 4. Even if you, as long as you hit, you can reveal the top 4. You don't have to pay the 4.
You only
unless
pay the
do
4
it.
if the effect would work.
I know, but...
So you can use it to shuffle your deck.
Okay, that's fine.
I mean, that's digging.
And it's for that beer
That
match
is
when they put
digging.
it on the bottom. You're
Exactly.
Like,
That's me and
We're
Zach.
innovators!
You heard it here first.
I guess that's okay, but as far as his actual effect goes,
It's totally.
you're never going to get off, and you're never going to have the 4 counterblast because everything requires 1.
But, but it's like D-Police. You know, it's like, if you get it off, you're going to get the biggest rager ever.
You
Because
get off D-Police. We both get off D-Police all the time. It's not the same.
No, but I'm talking about it's one of those when it's the, okay, you need to hit 2 grade 3s to pass, and you're like, grade 3! Grade 3! Oh!
Junting!
This is a similar thing, like...
But that's possible. This is bullshit.
Hey, this happens once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
A pale moon.
But it's not
strategy.
strategy.
Someone's done it.
It's not reliable.
Yeah, we know somebody who's done it, IRL.
He only told us. We never saw
We
it.
heard legends. There was no video graphical proof.
There was no screenshot. There's a good
But
possibility.
no, you know we're going to be watching an ARG one day. It's going to hit. It's going to go off. The internet will just flip shit. It's just like, oh, and he's like, excuse me, sir, while I fuck you and take another turn.
In reality, oh wow, that's really cool. Oh wow. In my car at lunch, not talking about, oh wow, he did
And
that.
then you know his opponent
Hey,
deep
bros,
down
you
is
here?
crying because it's like, who the fuck gets that effect
Deep down,
off?
you mean out loud.
I feel like if you do the 4
Like
of
he
these
physically
things,
flips the table and starts beating the shit out of his opponent.
are just brought to you by Raisin Bran.
And then,
2
and, then,
scoops.
and then he realizes his opponent doesn't have the counterblast to pay the cost. So.
That's the major problem with the effect. You should just be able to reveal and be like, fuck it, restand.
You're like, fuck it, I got it!
You're never going to have that 4.
Yeah.
If you use the starter and nothing else, you'd have the 4.
Or
There's
one Chrono
There's
Jet.
1 Chrono Gen.
Yeah.
And that's not
That's not gonna happen.
That's not how the game works.
But it's cool. Like, it's nice to see Stride here. I know it's a very basic, like, dipping the big toe in the pool of Stride.
But it is cool, and I'm glad that they're not like tiptoeing around at Break Ride style. The first few Break Rides are just garbage.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, well, we did just shit all over Gear Chronicles.
But yeah, but
Stride.
2 of the 3 are good.
Yeah.
And
they get another one.
And the
So,
they get a bunch.
Yeah.
And then the Aquaforce Trial deck, which is next, they get a cool stride.
Well, I guess in Gear Crawl's defense, this one sucks, but they get like 4 more fucking strides, where everything else gets like,
They get 4.
They get like Ragnarok, they have a promo one, they have this Mega Flare,
promo
they
one.
have a few. But like literally Royal Paladins, like you have the Trial Deck one and you have Saint Blow Dragon, that's all you get.
I guess, but when they're both good, that's all you need.
Yeah.
damn!
But then yeah, the other one, Neo Nectar is the same. It's like you get this one and you get this one. And
Sorry, do I need to read Saint
And it's
Blow?
also nice that I was worried Stride was going to break the game. And granted, it's starter decks, but it's been like I swing for 50 million. All right, no guard, whiff, whiff, whiff. 1 damage. Multiple times.
It's when you run into Ragnarok and it's like extra crit, no zeros.
I would actually go
Crit.
so far as to say it's less sacky than Legion because when you're not shuffling triggers back into your deck constantly,
You miss them.
It's way more like, oh, this is how the game used to be.
Yeah.
Not to mention, it's like like fucking the Genesis was like, okay, I'm going to swing 40,000, no grade zeros. When you hit, I retire 3, and you can't guard with 1s or higher.
So,
And 5 crits.
Holy Dragon, Saint Blow Dragon,
Saints suck.
Double Dragon.
The whole Saint Blow
He's not the Damager one, so they must get the Damager one in G2.
at your mom's
Because
house.
this one's effect is he gets 3,000 power for each rear guard, and then if you're at G2 and you have 2 or more rear guards,
Suck a dick.
he gets a crit.
There you go, Jay. It's coming.
So he's just the ultimate big number motherfucker.
So he's like Alfred, the one that no one likes and runs.
So it's like you stride over a pony guy, and he's like, if I hit call 2, and then you're like, I'm going to ride this bitch, and now I'm going to get crits.
Now I want to know what the fucking Damager one is, because that's
That's
like
your
a really...
So that's cool. So yeah, Troggs are good. Pick them up.
Pick up
ARG
2.
is good. Go
Yeah.
to ARG.
Yeah.
Don't forget
Oh
that.
yeah, the perfect guards. That's the biggest thing. They come with perfect guards now.
But I love it. They also, it's like you can get perfect guards, but you won't technically get the best perfect guards because you have to buy the set to get the unflippers and they're shiny.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But I love it because it's like we're gonna appeal to you casual people who are just kind of like, let me throw two together and like stand a chance, and then we'll appeal to you people like Justin, who's like, I'm gonna buy cases and I'm gonna love my life now.
Hey, I'm done with the case life.
We call those people livers of life.
The case life's
I
behind.
don't know how you could be done. You plus so hard after the last one.
That's not true.
Sarcasm.
I still lost money.
How did you lose money?
Excuse? Do you
He
not
did
understand
not
how
plus
economy
hard.
works?
I remember you got like everyone to pay off the case, and then you're like, I have 2 full perdition decks.
Yeah.
Well, of course, yeah. I
Still
guess at the
didn't
time they were
plus.
40 each, and then you held on to them.
Holy fuck, this guy's awesome. Flash Flame. Jay, I'm going to read this guy's name and pass the picture to you.
Okay.
Flash Flame Divine Knight Samuel. That is a Pegasus bat. Look at this motherfucker. Picture on screen now.
Yes.
Let's read this guy's face.
I don't even know how to feel. Like, what am I looking at?
Counterblast 2. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, if the number of cards in your opponent's damage zone is 4 or less, and the number of rear guards you have is 5 or more, pay the cost, choose one of your opponent's Vanguards, deal damage. It's as you're attacking.
Isn't
Does
he a
it
promo,
negate-
though? He's a promo.
No, he's in the set. He's a triple R in the set.
Oh.
Does he negate triggers,
He
though?
does not.
Because that shit about Dragnute pisses me
Yeah,
off.
it's like, because they'll hit and I'll get a heal, and I'm like, you fuck, boy.
At least they kept it unique to fucking Kagero. It's like, you get triggers. Ba-ba-ba.
Yeah, that's cool.
No veil? Hey, you got 2 heals. You can't do that.
God, yeah.
Fucking, oh, good.
Return of Novell.
I can't wait till strike, because I have no veil.
Yeah, no bells. I don't play Legion because no bell's too good. Why would I ever run Legion?
You know what? Even if I don't get no veil, I can G-assist and get no veil.
Oh, fuck. Can you do that?
Of course
Yeah.
you can do that.
Jeez.
Just reveal you don't have a 4 in your hand and search.
God damn it.
The next Gear Chronicle Stride is Interdimensional Dragon Fate Rider Dragon.
We're done.
And he does Gear Chronicle things.
To the danger zone.
So good times. How are we looking at time? I think we're just about up.
We're just about an hour. I feel like this is a little bit more mumbly, but we have lots to talk about.
We did have a lot to talk about. It was good stuff. So, thanks for joining us. It's for episode 5, TheScrubbening.
Ooh, upcoming product releases and events. There's that ARG event.
Please.
Ding.
That's not the next thing. How are you so bad at dates?
It's the next Vanguard thing. Fuck you.
No, it's not! It's not even!
Bro.
The next bigger thing is the fucking sneak peek, which is like less than a week away.
Hyper.
Yeah, D, please.
I'm gonna choke you out. You're not welcome here anymore.
Fuck you.
Fuck you!
Golden Pack, D Police Extra Booster, GB1, GB2, TD17.
Link Sugar!
Yay! That's TD18.
Oh, yeah, the fucking Ren, like, fuckboy.
Okay,
Nah, we're gonna cut that
we're
part.
losing
That's
this
too-
part. Have a good night.
That's too rapey. The end.
Dude,